Hey, what's up guys? How y'all doing today? Hope everyone's doing good. So in today's video, what I thought I'd do is go over defense again. I wanted to, I guess, go over my defensive team in a bit more detail. I had to make some positioning tweaks and whatnot, and I want to talk about why I made the tweaks that I did. And also, Atraxi did find a counter to the team, so I thought I'd show that and then talk about what I'm doing to re-counter his counter. So anyway, let me pull up some fights and we'll take a look at those, and then we'll check out my defensive formation here in a bit. So give me 1 minute, I'll be right back. All right, so here's a couple of the fights that he beat me in. And as you can see, he's using a Bonnie, Harak, Freyesto, Ludovic, and a Cryanaya. Now, the enemy Bonnie isn't really too much of a problem. She isn't really melting my back line or anything like that, so she's not really one that I'm worried about. Really, the big issue is the enemy Cryanaya, getting her active off, and the Freyesto, Freyesto seems to bait out my Lily May's active block, and then Cryanaya gets to her active, and it's just kind of game over from there. So let's just go ahead, hit replay, talk about what's going on. Okay, so Bonnie's trying to do damage to Harak, but it's just not happening. Then he gets a shield really quick, and that gives him a ton of damage reduction. So yeah, the Bonnie's not a huge issue. There we block the Freyesto active, and then comes the Cryanaya active right after the Freyesto one. So the timing's off by just a little bit. Now Harak is sometimes able to fight through it some. But usually he'll always lose out unless he just got like a fresh shield from Hugin and has like a full health bar. So yeah, wasn't working out the best. I'll pull up another one here, 1 sec. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit replay on this one. You guys can see pretty much the same thing will happen again. A little bit of damage on the Harak, he'll get a shield. I lose my Hugin kind of early from the enemy Lily May blocking his active, and then we block the Freyesto active. Here comes the Cryanaya active, and you know, wipes the team out. So yeah, it doesn't always work out for me. The timing's just off by a bit. That time my Harak was the one didn't get frozen he didn't get frozen on the first Cryanaya active because he didn't have a chance to do a lot of damage. But that's how quickly she got to her active. Is kind of crazy. So anyway, how am I gonna find a way to counter these? The first thing that I did was I changed my map, and I'll show you guys some fights on map 4, but that didn't really work out so well. But yeah, let me pull that fight up here quick. Alright, so I'd switched to map 4 and placed my heroes. I did win the first attempt that Atraxi did, so we'll watch that one, and then we'll see what he did to get a counter on it and actually start winning the fight. So start out good. We killed their Harak with our opener from Lily May, so that was really solid. And then we killed their Cryanaya pretty quickly, and we just kind of steamrolled through the team. The Bonnie didn't really do too much to us. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Now, the next one that I'm going to show you, we lose. I forget what exactly he did to counter it, but let me find that fight and we'll watch that one. So here we are on map 4 again, and this time he actually utilized a Sylvina. So yeah, Sylvina can be the bane of your existence on defense because she's just so good at picking apart teams, and you have to build your team around your opponent being able to use Sylvina and just pick apart your key heroes. So we're gonna talk about that here in a bit, but let's go ahead and watch this fight. I forget who he targets with the Sylvina, but he's probably okay, he targeted my Dunlinger. So I think he was trying to get some quick burst damage to get his Harak to start steamrolling, and then hopefully his Cryanaya would, you know, do her thing. But yeah, it didn't work as well as he wanted to, but it did do enough, and his Harak was able to steamroll and get the kills that it needed. And Yeah, it was a close fight though. If he kept going with attempts on this, there might have been some attempts where I would come out on top versus him, because there was a little bit of Heroic RNG in there. So yeah, that wasn't too bad of a map to use. But I decided I want to go back to map 3, and I'll show you guys my formation that I'm going to choose now. And this is the formation that I'm gonna use because, well, it's not very vulnerable to Sylvina. So if you want to know whether or not your team's going to get picked apart by a Sylvina, we'll talk about that right now. So to figure this out, what you're going to want to do is find the middle of the battlefield and then count the tiles. Like, so obviously we have rows of tiles here, right? So we got a row going this way, a row going this way, a row going this way, and find the row that your hero's in, and then find the center of the map and count the tiles that, how many tiles away from the center they are. So my Hugin, for example, is 1, 2, 3 tiles away. Now, if you go to the enemy side and count in the same row 3 tiles from the center, 1, 2, 3, you'll see that Sylvina doesn't have a tile that she can stand on. So she's not going to be able to target the Hugin without me making a mistake in my own positioning. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I don't have Lily May in that spot there behind Hugin, what'll happen is the enemy Sylvina can position themselves in this tile that my mouse is on, and then what'll happen, her target will go to the next closest hero, because this tile is targeted on this tile, the tile right behind Hugin. So by putting Lily May there, it's going to bait out the Sylvina opener, and Lily May can't be targeted at the start of a fight because she's doing Rainstorm Ballet and she's invincible. So it'll waste Sylvina's opening stun attack, and then what she'll do is start attacking Hugin or Leica with her regular whirlwind attack thing, and usually she'll just end up dying. So this kind of puts Sylvina out of the game. The only other way that you could use Sylvina here is to target the Dunliner, and that's not really a good idea in this situation. So yeah, this type of a positioning kind of really ruins the enemy from using a Sylvina to screw me up. Now, Heroic is positioned over here because he's also safe from Sylvina, but if I move him a tile forward, Vala will be able to target him here, and you don't want that either. So move him back a tile, and then he's safe from Vala. So yeah, this is the positioning I like. Hopefully it works. I'm not sure. I have yet for him to attack this, so we'll see what happens. And then if you want to talk about replacements, we can do that real quick. So replacements for Dunliner, the obvious is Freyesto. You don't want to, because you could replace him with like more of a damage dealer, maybe Shakir or something like that, but usually that's not a good idea, because Shakir will go down before he can get his active off, and you want more of a front line, in my opinion. So that's why I usually tend to recommend Freyesto, because he provides he's just a really good damage sponge in my opinion. He has his illusion, helps take damage. He also provides damage reduction and energy gain for the people placed behind him. Yeah, he's just an all-around good tank. The other tanks that I would suggest are either Olmus or Thorin, and I mean, they both have their uses. Olmus brings a bit more utility to the battle with throwing his rock and knocking people down and then rooting them. Also, Heroic knocks people down, so that'll help Olmus root those people too. And Thorin, he has that huge ultimate that he does, and that can devastate teams sometimes. So if you have a really strong Thorin, maybe you want to use him. But just keep in mind, Dunliner, he's very unique, and if you're in high-level PvP, like the high rankings, you're probably going to want to have a Dunliner to stay competitive, because, I mean, personally, I use him all the time. I kind of almost am forced to use him all the time because, well, number one, if I'm at a big Paragon disadvantage and the enemy's using healers, I can just completely shut down this healing, and that helps my team get wins because it allows their damage to go through. And one of the big problems with Paragon disadvantage is just how tanky the enemy becomes. So yeah, and just how good their healing can be. So yeah, having the healing block is really solid. This time though, I'm blocking ultimates because, well, it's kind of easy to bait out the Lily May active block when you are on defense, or when you're on offense. So it's easier for Traxie to bait out my Lily May than it is for him to bait her out when I also have Dunlinger blocking ultimates too. So yeah, that's why I'm choosing this positioning and why I chose the heroes I chose. Oh wait, before we get into anything else, I also chose Hugin and Leica because they both provide a growth stack for Lily May. So by placing Lily May behind Hugin, not only does it ruin the Sylvina targeting thing, but it also provides her a growth stack instantly from Hugin, because having that tile that's behind him, the buff he provides is it's technically a temporary buff, because if Lily moves off that tile, she doesn't have it anymore. So that gives her a growth stack, and then Leica's initial buff at the start of the fight, the energy and the attack speed buff, that also provides her a growth stack, and that allows her opening Rainstorm Ballet to do 2 extra attacks on it and also do a ton more damage. If you watched my video yesterday, you could see the comparison of a non-growth stack Rainstorm Ballet opener versus a just 1 growth stack on Lily for that opening Rainstorm Ballet. So yeah, that's why I have her positioned that way, and yeah, that's the team. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, got something out of it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
I really like brownness, yeah. It's yummy. I play games with y'all.